Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our AEW All Out 2021 preview and predictions. I am here with an all-star cast, some of the usual faces from the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Plus, we have a special guest here with us today. First up, I want to introduce the connoisseur of reporting, the ace and the face of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
What is up, everyone? Glad to be here. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, check out for polls that you guys can vote on as we preview All Out here.
Of course, and we have with us the man who usually reviews AEW, their smaller base shows on YouTube, AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark Weekly, as well as he always previews and reviews NWA, whether it be a pay-per-view or Power with 3 R's. It is the man of 1,004 numbers, the StatKing.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here. Looking forward to doing the preview. Looking forward to being there at All Out Live. Got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it.
Before we introduce our special guest, I see we have our other colleague here with us. He is the lightest person on this roundtable, but the man that's on the most CP time. The True Jaw, Josh Marrero, here with us. What's going on, Josh?
Yeah, how's it going?
and then finally we got from the Kings of Sports podcast, the man, the voice behind the Nubian Wrestling Advocates podcast over on Post Wrestling. He does a bunch of reviews on Post Wrestling. He does his stuff on sports. I've been on Kings of Sports podcast, one of the most fun podcasts talking about sports. I've been on the NWA podcast, one of the best podcasts if you want to know about Black professional wrestlers, the 5 stereotypes of Black wrestlers in WWE. I'm going to ask him to tell you all of that when after I introduce him. He is hilarious. He is insightful. He is Nate Milton. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brothers and sisters? I'm glad to be here. Shout out to everybody watching. I finally then kicked down that forbidden door and made my way to True Hill Heat. My only complaint, gentlemen, is with that heat, because it's 98 damn degrees in Virginia right now. So I need less True Hill heat and more True Hill Central AC. Like that's what I need today, gentlemen.
That is fair. I mean, for us in New York, we want less rain and floods and, to actually walk down the street without floating. Man. That's what we want here. So a little mixture, a little bit of the in-between would be great. But Nate, I try my best to give the best intros possible. But for anyone who doesn't know you, please let them know what you're doing on, the wrestling media platform, Post Wrestling. Let them know a little bit about you.
I appreciate it, SP3. Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Nate Milton. I'm a broadcaster, been broadcasting for 20 years professionally. I am a podcaster, been podcasting since 2013. My main show is the Kings of Sport podcast, which featured myself and Marcus Vanderberg, formerly of Yahoo Sports, currently of ESPN, which is why we kind of in this transition phase. Now that my brother done gone to the mothership, we're trying to see what the next iteration of the Kings of Sport is, but we've been doing that since 2013. And then when you talk about wrestling, gentlemen, come on now. I'm not new to this, fellas. Been doing this for a minute. Let's talk about that review and Impact. Back in the days when nobody was watching TNA wrestling except for me and Brian Mann over at Live Audio Wrestling. Let's talk about the Rocky Maivia picture show over on Post Wrestling. Let's talk about the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, which is a show that Sid has been on before and will certainly be on in the future. So, I've got plenty of thoughts and opinions about pro wrestling, man. Been a fan since I was a kid, been covering it, since 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. And, I just think that these broadcasts, man, the way that we can talk to people and exchange ideas and have different views of the same show, like that's what it's all about. That's like where my dog's at. Y'all know what I'm saying. So hey, we keep it moving around here. We keep it moving. But so I'm glad to be here, man. And yeah, like I'm excited, man. Like I feel like ever since Punk showed up on Rampage, there's been a different energy, not only on TV from the product that we're watching, but like it feels like the wrestling community has a different vibe like the last month or so. And so I'm excited to see what them boys got for us in Chicago on Sunday.
Yes, they were in Chicago right now. They were in Chicago for Dynamite. I'm so happy to have Nate on here, one of the brothers that has brought me in more into the wrestling media game, meeting other people. So I appreciate you, and I'm glad to have you in here and kick down the forbidden door and have some more post wrestling represented on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. But for everyone else, drop a like on this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content. We got a couple of usual suspects here with us already. We got you, my boy Blue, saying gonna have to check out NWA Podcast. You surely do, my brother. We got Connor Smith, one of our good friends, saying we are live, and we got Big Mike saying, what's going on, fellas? What's going on with you? Glad you're here to join us for AEW All Out 2021 preview. This is a loaded card, I believe 10 matches between the pre-show and the main show. It's going to be a long night for us, for our friends over in the UK, a long night for us over here on the East Coast and around the United States, but it's going to be a very enjoyable and entertaining card, I am sure. But we're gonna get to the action, and we already got a super chat here with us showing the support already. We got Slam and Sammy Joe saying my money is on Big Swole winning Tooth and Nail 2. I've been wanting Big Swole to get her opportunity at the AEW Women's World Championship. We're gonna get to the Casino Battle Royal very shortly, and like as always, like Slam and Sammy Joe just did, if you want to make sure your thoughts on AEW All Out are shown on screen and highlighted, all you got to do, super chat donation. It helps out the channel so much. It allows us to do more live streams with this. We're going to have live streams up until next Monday with our AEW All Out 2021 roundtable review. We're doing a watch along for the entire pay-per-view on Sunday. We got a watch along for Rampage and SmackDown on Friday. I'm going live with the fellas tomorrow, Jimmy Macaram and Marcus Cash of AE Recap for AE Ramble, as we're going to review Dynamite from last night. So whole bunch of great content. Hit that subscribe button, and another super chat donation we got already from Easy Attack, $10 donation. Thank you, good brother. We greatly appreciate that. Saying I should be in Hawaii right now. SMH. Anyway, I think Powerhouse Hobbs on the come up. Have a great show, fellas. That is the one and the only Professor Kris with us.
Shout out to the Professor.
Live chat.
my tag team partner from the NWA podcast. And let me tell y'all, if y'all haven't listened to the podcast, like I'm sure you've heard wrestling punditry, you've heard wrestling analysis before. But gentlemen, you ain't heard wrestling analysis till you heard it come out of the mouth of one Moderna Kris, the angry intellectual himself. So if y'all ain't checked it out, man, check out the show. Drops every second Sunday on Post Wrestling.
Before we get into the card, because I've been quoting you on this ever since I was on the NWA podcast, can you please let my good fellas here, StatKing, Romeo, Josh, everyone with us live, let them know the 5 stereotypes that Vince McMahon likes to put us black folks in the WWE.
Okay, so there are 5 stereotypes. There are only 5. These are the 5 categories that a black performer is allowed to portray in the WWE. Number 1, angry black man. Number 2, happy-go-lucky Negro.
The New Day.
Number 3, old school stereotypes, pimps, preachers, savages, etc., etc. Number 4, new school stereotypes, thugs, rappers, drug dealers, conceited athletes. And my personal favorite, the number 5 stereotype that Vince McMahon will allow a black person to play in the WWE. Athletic black person with absolutely no backstory.
I think you just pretty much encapsulated the last 25 years of African Americans on WWE television.
Romeo, do you have some kind of response to this indictment of WWE booking?
I do. I'm just waiting for it to send to my computer right now. Hold on.
WWE Romeo is the representative on the WWE payroll for
Nate,
WWE
how
on
many
the
did you
True
say there
Hood.
were?
5. There are
There you
only
go.
5. There you go. as Biggie Langston would
Yeah, I
say,
was gonna say 389.
I need 5.
That's why they all seem to represent the 5. It seems like that's perfect.
What an
That's
alley.
why
What an alley.
every time John Cena showed up, he was like, "That's all y'all gonna get. It's 5."
You can't see me unless you represent the 5. But yes,
You can't see the main event scene.
you can expect this type of analysis on the All Out card. We're already over 10 minutes into the show. We haven't even talked about a match yet, but let's talk about the buy-in, the pre-show before the main card for All Out. It's going to be just changed because we had a change in the card. Andrade versus Pac has been taken off the card due to travel issues. If you listen to if you listen to Wrestling Observer Radio, a lot of people are saying that this is a similar reason to Sasha Banks being pulled from the SummerSlam card against Bianca Belair. It's not likely that Pac couldn't make it into Chicago. They've been planning this match for a while. It has maybe to do with him possibly having that C word, the panorama, all that good stuff.
Time out though. But AEW hasn't been shy when it comes to the C word. So
I think though they have been, because last week they had a lot of changes for the episode that was much maligned and criticized. They had to take off a match due to two guys getting the C word. So I think that is who it was. One of those people was Pac, and it makes sense because we really haven't seen any promotion for the matchup in the last 2 weeks. So I think that's why it was pulled from last week, and now this week I think that's why they've kind of made the change there. So
only
that
the match I
match
was looking forward to the most. That's all. Only that.
Pac's match on Dark is actually that was on Dark this past week was actually from the Rampage taping in Chicago. So it's also from a few weeks ago.
So yeah, it's a lot of things that add up there. So unfortunately, we're not going to see Pac and Andrade. And if you believe what Romeo just said, it's only because of who Andrade's stepfather is, and he thought that he was going to see Papa Rick in Chicago. But for everyone else, we on the buy-in, the Casino Battle Royale has been moved to the main card. So on the buy-in, it's going to be Best Friends, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Orange Cassidy, along with Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus Matt Hardy, TH2, and Private Party of the HFO Hardy Family Office. This is a part of the big major feud that's been between Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy. It was last week on Dynamite. Orange Cassidy got the win over Matt, and we thought it was over from there, but then last night Orange Cassidy defeated Jack Evans. After the match, HFO jumped Orange Cassidy. Best Friends and Jurassic Express made the save to set up this matchup on the buy-in. So who do you think takes this one? Let's start with our special guest, Nate. Who do you got?
Yeah, this is one of those who all gonna be there matches. Basically, who we got in the back. Like, let's fill up some TV time, get a crowd a hot match to start out with. Real quick, like the women's match should have always been on the main card, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
But I gotta go with Team Orange Cassidy, man. Like, you don't book this match for the crowd to start off on a sour note. So it's gonna be a hot match. I think Jungle Boy probably gets the pin because I think Jungle Boy is maybe the person with the most upward mobility coming out of this match. So I'd love to see them focus a little bit more on Jungle Boy. So, but I think it'll be a hot match. Get the crowd involved. Hopefully, it won't overstay its welcome and give the people a nice appetizer before we get to the meat of this main card.
Absolutely, that sounds good. Josh, who you got in this one? Best Friends and Jurassic Express versus HFO.
I got Best Friends and Jurassic Express. I'm not really interested in this match, to be honest with you.
I don't think too much of us are.
It's not really random, but it's just that's a freaking car crash waiting to happen. But that's who I'll go with on that.
Sounds good. What about you, StatKing?
I'm going with Jurassic Express and Best Friends. This was it seemed weirdly constructed just on Dynamite, and then after they had the whole run-in and everything, that's when, we got the tweet saying that Andrade and Pac aren't going to have their match. They're moving the buy-in to the main card. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, then they could do something with this. And lo and behold, that's exactly what they do. So, yeah, Best Friends and Jurassic Express picking up the win.
I think I actually called this as soon as the Jurassic Express made the save for Best Friends last night. I was like, oh, they're going to add this to the card. I saw it coming. Romeo, who you got?
A 10-man tag, my favorite kind of match. Spoiler alert, Rick Knox will referee this match. I guarantee it. I am so tired of the HFO. Like, it should have just been Matt and Private Party, and that's it. Make it stop. I'll go with Team Best Friends and Jurassic Express. You guys in the comments right now, our Team Best Friends Jurassic Express, 88% of you think they'll win.
And I think it's unanimous across the board for everyone on screen here. Jurassic Express and Best Friends. Yeah, you got to have the buy-in get the crowd excited. The crowd in Chicago's going to love them some Orange Cassidy. If you took anything from last night, they're going to love them some Jungle Boy because they were jamming to his theme the 2 times that they heard it. So I think they're going to be jamming once again. And yes, I see Jungle Boy probably getting the win for their team. And it's a combination of the 2 feuds that we've seen from HFO over the last 2 months or so. So it makes sense to be on the buy-in here. We got another super chat donation from Connor Smith. Thank you, good brother. He says, ring the bell and let the best wrestler in existence, Andrade, win the match. I did see Andrade on social media teasing that he's gonna verse question mark, that he might do like an open challenge. I don't know if that's gonna be added like on social media or something, or maybe on Rampage. Who would you put him against, Romeo? Let's ask that.
Fuck the dragon! Unleash the dragon!
Just send Brian out there.
And he's gonna win still? Get out of here! Get out of here!
I think Andrade would walk out. It's like, oh, fuck that! I didn't mean that kind of open challenge. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's too open.
What about you, Nate? Who do you think Andrade will verse if he does an open challenge?
Honestly, I think this would be a good spot for Fuego del Sol. Like somebody that can get the rub just by being in there with Andrade, but he gonna take that L.
True. And it does, and they kind of set that up with him beating him down and making him lick his boots a couple of weeks ago. So that makes sense. Right. Josh, Josh, what about you?
I don't know. I really don't. I'm just gonna throw a Hail Mary. I'll say Guevara.
Sammy Guevara? Yeah, I can see that. And that would be a really good match. That would be a dope match. StatKing?
I do like that Fuego del Sol idea. Another interesting one, if we're talking about debuts, would be Adam Cole if he showed up and that he was the person. But I do like that Fuego, so I'll go with Fuego del Sol.
How many debuts does StatKing want in Chicago? You want all
of them?
I
want all of them.
Hell out of here.
Stop it.
I don't think it's going to be a debut just because, this is a situation where I think Andrade needs to win a match at least. You're not going to have your debut and then lose. I don't think they'll put anybody in that situation.
Listen, guys, I watched Tony Khan with a tear in his eyes before that Rampage, crying and stomping the ground, telling us how much he loves Chicago. He's giving every debut, every big match to Chicago. You guys just have to deal with it, all right? Like, that's just how it works.
You're ridiculous.
Wait. You mean Romeo has to deal with it?
Yeah, Romeo has to deal with it.
Me personally, I don't give a shit.
Like, that's just... the family's originally from the Chicagoland area. He went to University of Illinois in Champaign. That's why they had a Dynamite there. Chicago's just getting everything. Just be happy you're getting Arthur Ashe, all right?
No. Let's not do that. Let's have Adam. Let's at least give us Adam Cole if we're not getting Bryan Danielson. My pick would be Dante Martin because that's someone who can have a little showcase here and still lose, because I do agree with Josh that Andrade needs to win this one. So yeah, Fuego or Dante Martin.
Nobody cares about his partner. Nobody cares.
Don't do him like that. Come on, dog.
Nobody cares about his partner anymore. It's all Dante Martin, baby. Woo!
We got another super chat donation from Connor saying his opponent should be his comrade, the one-legged Roosh. Oh, come on. Roosh just got hospitalized. He's doing his press conference. Let him get healthy first before we try to bring him into AEW. And I think that's going to be as his tag team partner or a part of his his Lucha Libre group that he's putting together under Chavo, most likely. But let's get into the main card, fellas, and let's start off with the match we're least interested in. Like, we did this with SummerSlam. We started off with Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie on the preview. So yes, let's start off with the equivalent.
Telekinesis.
With the equivalent of Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie on the SummerSlam card, Paul White, aka Tall Paul, versus QT Marshall with the Factory. This was set up a couple of weeks back when QT Marshall beat down Tony Schiavone's son, and he looked like he had a cramp more than he got beat up. And then Tall Paul came out and made the save for his AEW Dark Elevation commentary partner and best friend. And from there, QT Marshall talked trash about Paul White, showed his injured hip that he got surgery on, and it sets up this matchup, which is Tall Paul's AEW in-ring debut. Last night on Dynamite, we saw Shoguns implode as Billy Gunn turned on his former tag team partner with a steel chair to the back, steel chair to the head. And yes, Tony Khan is either medically insane or he was a big fan of the Shoguns, either or. But yes, who wins this one? I think this is an easy one to go through, but I will start off with the StatKing this time. Tall Paul versus QT.
I think we're all going to take Paul White on this. It just upsets me because I really was hoping that, when QT showed all of Paul White's medical history problems, that Paul White was going to say, we were going to find out he wasn't medically cleared, but he was allowed to pick his replacement, and he was going to pick Fuego because of the Fuego QT thing. That's what I was really hoping for. But now that we're actually getting this, just Paul White, knock him out, and let's move on with our lives.
Please. Josh, who you got?
Paul White, and that's all I will say to that.
Nate, who you got? Tall Paul or QT?
Yo, one of the best things about your guy TK is that you could tell he's a student of the game, and he's a fan of continuity in his pro wrestling. But sometimes that's not the best thing for your television programming. Don't nobody need to see this, man. And we spent on the upcoming edition of the NWA podcast. Yeah, right. I'm crying too, show that y'all putting this on my screen. Like I was gonna say we, but it's Kris mainly because I don't want them problems with QT. Kris is out here slandering QT, and my thing is, we know what QT is, right? Like, QT's a good person to have on this show. QT, like the school and the training, like, my man has value to AEW, but that value should not be taking up 5 minutes. Hopefully it's no more than 5 minutes on this pay-per-view. Like, that's a spot that could have been given to somebody else to shine. So, the fact that this match was official on the main card before the women's match, like, that's disrespectful, man. Go ahead and knock him out the box, Paul.
I think that's why a lot of people were upset that the women were going to be on the buy-in, is because Tall Paul and QT got on the main show. So we got a couple of comments to go through here. We got Connor saying, thank God Monday is a holiday for those folks in the UK and us who staying up late, because this show might not end till like midnight probably. The NW Network says AEW is going all out. I feel with the CV travel issues ramping up again, I feel we are going to get a lot of debuts as quickly as possible while they can pack out live crowds. Cole and Brian double debut. See,
I will throw my fucking phone and my drink. I will throw everything that's around me if we get 2 of those. Chicago gets them.
We got Bills Mafia STF saying likely a heel heavy win night, so gotta get some face wins where they can, and Tall Paul kind of fits the bill there. Slam and Sammy Joe says that give me Buddy Matthews debut. Sweet Jesus, come on,
you can have that one.
Isn't he already going to Impact anyway?
I think that's been the report. That's been the report. Slam and Sammy Joe says not QT but cutie. And Frantic World says Tall Paul get the W. And you my boy Blue says I love how confidently garbage QT Marshall is. When's the last time he won a match?
On AEW Dark against Evil Uno. You're welcome.
Yo, shout out to that man though. Like we can't all dictate our circumstances in life. SP3. All we got to do is deal with the cards that we've been dealt and play them. QT is out here giving y'all a master class on how to play these cards with the way he finessing these pay-per-view paydays.
He can choose not to wear those bowling shirts though.
That is true. That is true. He could choose not to look like Tony Soprano out there, or the leader of his bowling team or something. Come on, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He does look like Tony Soprano. Just with the beard.
Hey, all I could do is be accurate, ladies and gentlemen. But we got another participant here, another esteemed
He heard
colleague.
us talking about this match. He was like, "Fuck,
He heard us talking about this match, and he was like, "Oh, I got to get on here to predict." We got Top Guy JJ, the resident True Hill alcoholic, with us. Top Guy JJ, I know the match you're looking forward to the most. You didn't want to miss the prediction for, so QT Marshall versus Tall Paul.
This is why you buy pay-per-views, to get matches like this, baby. Come on, man. Between this and getting Brother Nate's comments on the limitation of black athletes, there was no way I couldn't jump on here. I was like, I'm coming straight out of PT, and I was like, yo, I need to get up on here for a little while because that was some entrance. Yes, that shit caught me. I was like, I gotta get my shit set up, man. But yeah, man, the best show on the card, of course, QT and Paul White. The match no one wanted. So absolutely. How we all not rocking the No More BS shirts right now? Like, what's up with us, yo? What's up with the True Hill Heat gang?
You know, StatKing couldn't make a second trip after he sold out the place for the CM Punk shirts.
There's only so many shirts I can get.
Only so many shirts you can get. Who you got, QT or Tall Paul? Top
Yo, somehow QT Marshall is going to win this match. Somehow he's going to win this match. I mean, there's absolutely no reason Paul White gets W's in AEW. There's no reason for it. He is only there to make people look good somehow. And there's no need for him to get a fucking W. For what sake? For what purpose?
So he can put someone over that matters. That's why I think everybody's going for Tall Paul.
Yo, no one wants him. No one needs him in an AEW ring to begin with. Yo, just be a one and done, bro.
We need him to get a victory so he can put over the Powerhouse Hobbs of the world, the Wardlows of the world.
Why do you want him to die? Why do you want him to die? He can't take those kind of bumps.
I'd rather that than him job out to QT Marshall, who couldn't get a win on Cody with 1,000 people helping him.
No one wanted this match. No one wanted this. No one wanted this. And this is going to be on the main card and not even on the buy-in. That's awesome.
We need crying Paul White in AEW. We need an AEW version of that picture.
So EBB says 5 minutes. Just you wait for them to go half an hour pulling out a top rope Spanish fly.
I would throw my drink if I saw that.
We got you, my boy Blue says JJ ain't took that shirt off since he got
I've been waiting 7 years for this shit, and I'm throwing this shit on every day. Wash, dry, rewear. Wash, dry, rewear. That's what we do here. Thanks to the StatKing, sir.
Absolutely. Well, we should get into the match that should have been on the buy-in, the Casino Battle Royale. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought everybody said Tall Paul. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tall Paul.
What does the people think? What do the people think?
79% for Paul.
Wow.
So more people picked Best Friends in Jurassic Express percentage-wise than picked Paul White.
Yes.
Damn. That's some love for QT Marshall.
You know what I mean?
That's some faith.
You're gonna force him on TV in our throats. You might as well make some fucking use of it.
Saying, like, here's the thing. Like, if I were a betting man, I might take a flyer on QT for this one.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all taking this
parlay action.
This is a pick. This is a pick with no confidence. There's no confidence in this pick at all. This is a straight flyer.
I'm totally done with the 21%, but it's okay. It's all right. But yes, we should talk about the match that should have been on the buy-in, the Women's Casino Battle Royale. So far confirmed for this matchup: Nyla Rose, Julia Hart, Big Swole, The Bunny, Thunder Rosa, Red Velvet, Tay Conti, Penelope Ford, Diamante, Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakura, Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Abadon, KiLynn King, Layla Hirsch, and more to be announced. So when we do our predictions for this one, I'm also going to ask you to predict who is going to be the Joker card, the final entrance, who should be a surprise entrant. Let's start with our special guest, Nate. Nate, who you got to be the Joker card first, and who do you think's going to win?
Okay, I got two Jokers. I got a big Joker and a little Joker.
Okay.
Pull
on spades on us. What the table at?
My little Joker as kind of a make good and kind of a show of appreciation for all she's done for women's wrestling over the past couple of weeks will be Mickie James showing up. That's my little Joker.
I like
my
that.
big Joker, we talking about that girl Ruby Soho in the building coming through. I think she gonna make her debut again. Chicago getting all these damn debuts. I don't know how I feel about this right now.
They can have that one.
But in terms of who's winning the match, like I'm either going with Thunder Rosa because I think that's a natural progression to go to that match with Britt, or Big Swole, man. Because we talking about it before the show, SP3. Like our girl, like Big Swole, been doing the work. Like she had a up and down year last year, man. But she back. Like Big Swole is money. So Big Swole is somebody. I think I'm gonna put my money down on Big Swole. I'm going all in on Swole for this one.
All in on Swole. Hart and Swole, her tag team with Julia Hart that was on AEW Dark, I believe, Elevation this week. StatKing, who you got in this one? Who's your Joker, and who do you think is going to win?
Joker's Ruby Soho, and my pick to win, I'll go with Ty Conti. They've slowly been building up a lot of wins behind Ty Conti. I don't think she had a match against Britt for the title, but she did against Shida. So I think they go with Ty Conti to kind of be the next step for Britt. I would go with Thunder Rosa, but I feel like going back to Thunder Rosa so soon for Britt, it feels too like they just had that. Not just, but that unsanctioned match is still pretty recent. Like I'd let them be separated for a little bit and then bring it back, because I do think Rosa is probably the person to take the title from Britt. So I'm going with Ty Conti winning this one.
I also should mention, she wasn't on the lineup that I had, but Anna Jay just returned last night on Dynamite. She's also going to be in the Casino Battle Royale. Armand Mosin says that Anna Jay wins the Battle Royale. If you want us to highlight your prediction, of course, the Super Chat donation helps out the channel a lot, and it makes sure that we highlight whatever comment prediction that you have. So $1 or more donation definitely helps for that. Let's go to Top Guy JJ next. Who's your Joker, and who do you have winning the Casino?
Yeah, I think if the Joker isn't Ruby Soho, we all disappointed. I think it's that point already. I think it's the perfect slot for her. She has the look. It's obviously it's everything that it calls for. This is perfect. Winning, my heart wants to see them actually see what they could do with Jade Cargill, but I don't think that that's happening yet. I'm gonna have to agree and go take Conti. I'm gonna have to agree there, because I think Thunder Rosa, as y'all said, I think it's a little too soon. But I think she's the obvious next in line for probably like a deeper pay-per-view, but just not right now. And I believe Conti is somebody that they could just kind of like get it over with on Dynamite and then have her look like one and done with her, pretty much.
Makes sense. Josh, who you got as your Joker, and who do you have winning?
I'm gonna go Joker. I think I'm gonna go with Ruby Soho, and winning, I think probably take Conti. I was gonna say Cargill, but I think that they're gonna wait on that.
Yeah, I think Cargill, she's probably one of the most like potentially who can beat Britt for the title, same as like Thunder Rosa. That's why I think they're gonna hold off on that.
Right.
And they did also set up kind of Thunder Rosa to feud with either Jade Cargill or Nyla Rose coming out of All Out when they jumped her last night on Dynamite. We got a cool prediction here from Bill's Mafia STF saying Chelsea Green is gonna get her way into yet another spot no one wants to see her in.
Dang.
And like I said,
trying to complete that Forbidden Door Infinity Gauntlet.
she's gotta complete it. And like Voices of Wrestling put on Twitter, I want my wife. I love her dearly. She loves me, but I wish she loved me as much as second tier promotions love Chelsea Green. Well, who you got as the Joker and winning this one, Romeo?
Soho for the Joker, and who I got win. Let me ask you a question because my memory isn't the best. When they do these battle royals,
My bad.
how often is the like
easy killer?
when do they schedule the title match? Usually,
Usually within like maybe a month or month and a half.
it isn't.
Yeah,
something
it's
like
usually-
where you could wait.
it's
Usually one of the first person that the champion will face after that.
Yeah,
After
maybe it'll probably be Arthur Ashe, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? So fuck it, Thunder Rosa.
Oh,
Damn, yeah, yeah. You know, that's a
Rosa
bold pick.
Baker at Arthur Ashe. Let's do it.
Bold pick.
and I heard the same thing that Slammy Joe with a $2 super chat donation. Thank you, good brother. Said I heard the rumor that Rosa versus Baker is at Revolution, which I believe because that will be enough time to to separate from that unsanctioned match, which was one of the matches of the year in my opinion. And yeah, it gives them a big time title match for the women's championship at Revolution. So I can see that more than her winning this one. Like I said, I think they set up Rosa to have feuds coming out of the Casino Battle Royale more than set her up to win this one. So I'm gonna go with Take Conti to win, and I'm gonna go with Mickie James to be the Joker because I agree with Nate. They need to reward Mickie James for how much she has, done for women's wrestling with the Empower show. She seems like she's getting ready made for a big time Impact Knockouts match again, a Knockouts Championship match against Deonna Purrazzo at Bound for Glory. So give her this moment, let her come out. She's gonna get a huge pop from that Chicago crowd who appreciate women's wrestling, and it's gonna be a nice moment. I don't think the Joker card is going to win this one, so that's why I don't want it to be Ruby Soho. I'd much rather the person that wins this match and Tay Conti lose to Britt Baker at Grand Slam, and then we get 2 debuts at Grand Slam, and Ruby Soho, who's been teasing a lot in her Runaway vignettes that she's going to be debuting in New York City, she gets her big debut there. That makes more sense to me. And we got yet another super chat donation from Easy Attack, aka Professor Kris, saying, don't they have a streak going with Jade? She should win. She's undefeated in singles competition. I don't think it breaks her streak by her losing a battle royal. It's similar to Samoa Joe and his undefeated streak, where he lost 1,001 3-way and 4-way matches, but he never lost one-on-one. So they can continue on Jade Cargill's streak without her winning this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that pay-per-view, I was thinking of the pay-per-view after Full Gear. I'm glad that Revolution was named. I feel like they're going to wait for Jade Cargill for like Double or Nothing next year. I think they're going to try to build her up and make her really big when she wins the title, when it happens for her.
Yeah, I think probably they do Thunder Rosa beat Britt for the title if they do it at Revolution, and then Thunder Rosa doesn't need a long reign, and you don't need 3 like back-to-back long reigns because Hikaru Shida held it for a year.
Yeah.
At that point for Britt, it would be like 7-8 months with the title. Thunder Rosa can have it for a short time and transition it over to Jade Cargill, and then you still have the money Jade Cargill versus Britt Baker match. So that makes sense on a lot of levels.
Yep.
But let's go into another match.
I changed my pick. You're right about Thunder Rosa having feuds out of this, so I'm gonna go with Anna Jay, not Sarah J. Anna Jay.
yo, real quick, yo. I know this sister done been maligned and battered and beaten over the last couple weeks. SP3, but shout out to Brandy, man, because just listing the names in this division, man, they got some talent. Now it's just a matter of how do we position these women? How do we, promote these women on the card? So they got the talent, man.
And more talent on the way.
And look, Serena Deeb, like she's not even back yet. So like they got talent, man.
I wish I could go with Big Swole because I said before Big Swole should have been the first contender for Baker coming out of Double or Nothing, because if they still wanted her to play somewhat of a heel, Nyla Rose is not the person she should be versing first. Nyla Rose should have been the person she versed in Pittsburgh, where you knew she was going to be the baby face, so she could verse an established heel. I mean, Red Velvet did great in her opportunity, but it felt like Big Swole should have been that first contender for her because she has the win in the tooth and nail match, like Sammy Joe said earlier. Oh, we got our Armano Mosin saying CJ Perry, aka formerly known as Lana. I could see her being the Joker. Her 90 days is up. A friend of mine told me this morning. Yes, her 90 days is up, but I see her. I see her in another spot. Yes.
Yeah, not a spot for her. Not a spot for her. Not that. She's not gonna get a pop if she debuts. She's not gonna get that. Jokers are supposed to be somebody that you add, you anticipate, you want to see. If you see CJ Perry come out to an AEW crowd, that shit gonna be dead silent.
Speaking of Mickie James, though, since there are two women to be announced, and we know that obviously one's going to be the Joker, I think it'd be really cool if Mickie James is involved in the Battle Royale and Deanna comes out of nowhere to eliminate her.
Okay.
I can see that.
Not Deanna being involved in the match itself, but just coming out to eliminate her.
Just to fuck with Mickie James.
And to continue, they feuded in. They had a little angle at NWA. They have a little angle here. It builds up Bound for Glory, which they are promoting. It's going to have AEW involvement, so it makes sense on a couple of different levels. But let's go to one of the matches that I feel is getting very underrated, but I feel is going to be one of the best matches on the card. A battle of AEW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jon Moxley going one-on-one with Satoshi Kojima versus Moxley. This one is going to be a showdown. If you know anything about Kojima, he's won the top titles in All Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is one of the New Japan dads and the stalwarts of New Japan Pro Wrestling, right up there with your Nagatas, the kind of the generation before Tanahashi and Shibata and all those guys. Kojima is one of those mainstays, and he's had a hell of a 2021. Bangers with Jeff Cobb, with Will Ospreay, and now he versus Jon Moxley in Chicago, Illinois. Who do you think wins this one? Let's start off with Josh this time. Kojima versus Moxley.
I'm gonna go with Moxley, but I think this is gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna be hard hitting. I was surprised, but when they announced that it was Kojima, I was like, oh shit! Like I was like, because remember originally everyone thought it was gonna be Tanahashi, but then back in Japan, so for them to get Kojima, I think it was a good. I don't want to say replacement, but this match is definitely going to be hard hitting.
I agree with you there, Romeo. Who you got?
I'm not as excited for this as you guys are. What a fall from grace for Moxley from last year's All Out. This should have been Tanahashi. I agree. As we have Tanahashi right here.
Stick figure Tanahashi here.
You got to explain it to Nate. Every time we got a guest, you got to explain it.
Yes, Nate, brother Nate. So you understand, we always have stick figures of New Japan stars. Kojima is an exception because AEW is promoting them. But anytime we mention a New Japan star, we have to have stick figures, Nate, because we got copyright strikes on our YouTube channel for using fair use photos from New Japan's website. We got copyright strikes, so now on we just use stick figures for all the New Japan stars. Do you have Shingo in the background as well? I think that's your best one there, Romeo.
Shingo is classic, man. Shingo is it.
I got Moxley. Everyone should have Moxley. Check yourself.
I think it's pretty. I think it should be pretty unanimous for Moxley, but this is going to be one hell of a match in a great way. In a great. This is going to be a great way to get Jon Moxley back in a meaningful storyline after this match, because he's been kind of like playing around, not really getting in anything serious. And I think he starts to need to get involved, whether it's getting involved in the TNT title picture or working his way back up into contendership. Like he needs to get something more serious because I feel like he's being kind of underutilized right now.
I mean, I can see they got something in the running with him. His promos are getting a little bit more spicy, and it leans more towards him potentially going heel. And there's a lot of big time baby faces for him to turn heel on, including his best friend Eddie Kingston or the guy he's been teaming with as of lately, Darby Allin. So I think that this is just him turning the wheels, starting a feud with New Japan, setting up his match for later on, probably with Tanahashi. But brother Nate, who you got in this one, Moxley or Kojima?
Yeah, I think Mox, obviously. It's going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be a lot of clubbering, if you will. But in terms of Moxley's position on the card, I think, and this might resonate with you, SP3, being from New York, the way Tony Khan is putting together this roster reminds me of a crew from the slums of Shaolin. Talking about the RZA. Just old dirty bastard, Inspector Deck, the Method Man, the Wu-Tang Clan. And so
who reminds you of that?
All right, so listen, follow me on this one. So AEW's roster, on every Wu-Tang track, there was a pecking order, right? On some tracks, it would be a meth track. On some tracks, it'd be a dirty track. On some tracks, it's a Ghostface track. And on those tracks, you got to take a step back. Raekwon, you got to take a little bit of a step back, brother, because it's not your time on this track. And that's why I think it is with Jon Moxley. Like, we just brought in Punk. You know what I'm saying? We got Kenny, and we're building, allegedly, still building towards Kenny and Paige as our big title match. We've got Daniel Bryan apparently coming through. So it's like, right now ain't the time for you to be all up on the track, Jon Moxley. Just stay in the back and be like, word. Uh-huh. We got this. Like, that's your position. Just do ad libs right now, Moxley, and we'll come back to you once we get the rest of this roster set. So I think it's gonna be a hard hit match. They're gonna present Kojima as this legendary figure, kind of like what they did with Nagata. But Moxley's gonna win, and I don't think him being in this spot is a bad thing, because I think ultimately he'll be back at the top. It's just a matter of, we got a lot of new dudes we bringing in, and we got to figure out where their position on the track is.
I totally agree with you. He was on top for 9 months. I feel like people that's like, oh, they're not doing enough with him. They're not realizing they did a lot with him in 2020. He's the pandemic champion. Like, he is, when you think of the greatest signings in AEW history, besides, CM Punk being the latest, it's either Jon Moxley or Chris Jericho. And those are the guys they've really built around in the first 2 years. So it's okay that Moxley is not in a mainline matchup. But like we've all been saying, this is going to be one of the matchups that probably exceed expectations the most. StatKing, who you got?
I'm taking Mox on this one. Kojima has a hell of a resume, and he is a legend. But Jon Moxley is the boogeyman of AEW for a reason. You don't want to get in the ring with him. So shout out to Kojima for, in storyline being the guy brave enough to send the FedEx contract back. But he's not winning this one.
I totally think it's unanimous. Jon Moxley for the victory. What do the people in the chat say, Romeo?
100% Mox.
I was really hoping more people pick QT Marshall than pick Jon Moxley again.
Armand saying Moxley wins. I agree with Romeo. Not excited for this matchup. We got Wendy in the live chat saying, I feel they might throw a curveball and have Tessa as the Joker, because everyone expect Ruby Soho to debut, but you never know with AEW. That is also true. Bell's Mafia disagrees. He says Tessa isn't happening, but we've heard
get a hell of a reaction. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We've heard she's been in talks with NWA, so who knows where she might show up next.
Just because she likes saying the N-word.
Polarizing or not, polarizing or whatever you call it, if she show up, that reaction is going to be there for sure.
It will be.
They just got to let her know if she shows up in NWA, like Nate said on the Empower review. They just got to make sure they let her know it stands for National Wrestling Alliance. I'm done.
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
Moxie got to be in the background. He's got to know his role in the Wu-Tang Clan right here, man.
What the fuck,
bro? Why do you do this to us, Romeo? Why do you do this to us?
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. Fantastic work, Romeo, on the background. But yes, we got to go to our first title match that we're going to preview here. And this is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, because my God, in 50 seconds, they made me more interested in this match than a lot of the other matches on this card. But it's going to be for the AEW TNT Championship. Miro, God's favorite champion, the Redeemer, versus the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. In 50 seconds, they accomplished more than guys that got 10, 15 minutes worth of promos on the road here have been able to do. Kingston says that he's going after Miro's kryptonite, his Achilles, his neck. He's like, that DDT keeps affecting you, and he's gonna go for it. While Miro says that the only time he lays down is for his wife in the hotel room. So it's just great brilliance from these two men. They are great on the mic, great characters, and I think they're gonna have a great match here. It's gonna be hard hitting. I'll do my prediction first. I think God's favorite champion holds on to the title and walks into the promised land to the open arms of CJ Perry. I think CJ Perry is not going to interfere in the match because you still want to make Miro look strong. But I think after Miro wins, she's going to meet him on the stage and hug him, and that will be her first appearance for AEW. Nate, who you got in this one?
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to take your idea and remix it a little bit. Playing off of the Wu-Tang theme, this is the protect your neck match. I love how they've, because let's be real, when Miro first came in, he wasn't really hitting those first couple weeks, those first couple months. But then, ever since he split from who's our guy?
Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian, as long as he was no more best man shit.
Yeah, ever since he dropped that, my man has been on fire. And I think having this dude be such a threat, but he has this one weakness. He's like the Death Star. Like, he's so ominous, but he got this wide open thing in the back that you can just shoot a missile in and blow up the whole thing. And I think the match is going to be built around that. It's going to be just hard hitting. Like, babyface Eddie Kingston is something I didn't know I needed in 2021, but I love how he retains everything that made him great as a promo, as a heel. But now, we're rooting for this dude. I think this could go either way, but I'm going for the title change just because I think we're not going to get a lot of title changes on this show. So I think this will be our one title change. And I like the idea of Lana being there, but I think Lana is there to meet up with Rusev or a Miro that is just lost. And it's like, if this dude was scary before, now he got his woman back and he mad and he motivated. And I think this sets up the next chapter of your man Miro out here. But let's give the people a feel good moment because they're not gonna get him in some of these other title matches. So let's give it to that man Eddie Kingston.
That is a great point that we're probably not going to see too many title changes on this card. I will be predicting one, but I just don't see it here because it's one thing to give all the debuts to Chicago, but you're going to give our New Yorker, Eddie Kingston, his title win in Chicago? Nah, you can't do that to us. Then we barely be mad. I don't know about Romeo, but all the rest of the New Yorkers going to be pissed about that. Top guy JJ, who you got?
There's a lot of good ideas in this whole little last two matches of booking, and I'm gonna take a little bit of all of it. And I feel like if they're gonna make this a meaningful heel turn as the start of what Jon Moxley would do, I think it would be the perfect nucleus to have babyface Kingston win the TNT Championship. Have Moxley do the super celebration with him, and then it creates this TNT Championship rivalry. They're gonna have to make if you're gonna really pull the trigger on Kingston's probably his last run, make it now. Just do it. I understand that we probably as New Yorkers want this to happen in our city, but him coming to Arthur Ashe with that title would probably be just as popping if he comes in and he's starting to gloat that being from New York, showing off that he's one of the champions of a major company. And obviously this would give weeks of buildup between what we're hoping to see. This is all hope. This is all what we're hoping. If we're going to get this great Moxley turn, he's got to have the perfect nucleus to really make this really work. And I think the perfect person is Eddie Kingston. So Miro is not a loser when he loses this because I think he's already in a prominent spot. He could even be launching himself to the next title picture already. Yeah. But Miro doesn't lose in losing this title. And that's why I think Eddie Kingston kind of needs this to really make everything relevant at this point.
Who you got, Josh? Kingston or Miro?
I'm going Miro. I really don't see him losing anytime soon. So, I mean, that was some good points that you guys have been saying, but I really don't see him losing. He has so much momentum right now. For him to lose, kind of kills that. So that's just to me.
I agree there. John, StatKing, who you got in this one?
See, now I could see a situation where Lana does get involved. CJ Perry does get involved during her debut and costs Kingston the match, and we get the rematch at Arthur Ashe Stadium. And that's where Eddie Kingston wins and gets the pop of winning in front of the New York crowd. So I think that might be a better I think especially because, because of COVID and everything, because of COVID, New York isn't getting the Daniel Bryan debut, then at least giving them kind of a hometown person getting a strong win, that might be some way to kind of make up for it in a sense. And it does kind of, you're welcome. Tony Khan's a giving man. He's a very generous giving man, Romeo. So it's all right. In that sense, like it's, it is something that helps to lift the card up a little bit, but I think it does start it really like, and that's also, changing things of, you're saying what Nate was saying of a losing Miro being comforted by CJ Perry. What if he has CJ Perry? She comes out at with the Arthur Ashe Stadium match. He loses, and they transition it. Then you can still also do the Jon Moxley turn in Arthur Ashe, and that would also be a big moment. And so there's a lot of options, but I'm gonna go with Miro retaining.
Don't give me that shit in New York, please.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't want that shit, please.
I don't want a WWE finish of CJ Perry costing Eddie fucking Kingston the title.
Yeah. That's some W. For somebody that don't watch WWE, that's some WWE shit.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying that CJ Perry costs Eddie Kingston the match.
Stop.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see that at a pay per view. I pay money. If I pay money for this match, I don't want to see.
That's very WWE. That's very WWE.
Perry cost Eddie Kingston the title. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, we don't need Lana. We don't need Lana there.
I mean, to be fair though, Sid, like you're not paying for that. You done already got your money's worth with that QT Marshall hotness.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Stop. So you got the expectations too high.
True.
That's true. The bar's too high.
That's true. Romeo, who you got?
There's a time and a place to pick against God's favorite champion, and this one is not it. I'm going Miro. Nate, did you say something about protect your neck and Miro? Are you talking about this?
By the time this preview is done, we're gonna fill out the whole.
By the time,
like now we need the whole lineup by the end of the show.
We do. We just need to keep filling the slots, Romeo. Keep filling the slots. We got
save space for Cody.
We got Hector Cruz saying God's favorite champion will never lose that title. It'll take armies to bring him down at this point. Have you seen his wife? We also got you, my boy Blue, saying it's Miro Day. And talking to Connor, I missed that gimmick. And we got Jeff L from the hood saying enjoy All Out, y'all. And we hope you enjoy it too. And join us on Sunday to watch along live with Romeo and the gang. We're gonna have fun with that one. And join us back on Monday as we review the entire show. But let's go to another one. Yeah.
84% for Miro in the chat.
The chat is smart. We're going to go to another title match, this time for the AEW Women's World Championship. It's going to be the hottest free agent signing in AEW lately, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus the Alien.
We didn't see it. Do it again.
DMD, kind of like SP3, and they're gonna verse the undefeated since her return, Kris Statlander. It was actually Britt Baker that injured Kris Statlander and took her out of action all those months back, and ever since then, Kris Statlander has been on a streak, undefeated in the women's division in 2021, and now we have this huge showdown. Rebel and of course, or Reba and Jamie Hayter is gonna be in Britt Baker's corner. Those two ladies will verse Kris Statlander on Rampage, but who wins here? Statlander versus Baker. Let's start off with Romeo this time.
I'm going with the doctor, Britt Baker. This should be another case of a babyface not getting cheered going up against Britt Baker. And yeah, I'll put the question in the chat. Let the chat vote on who wins this one.
Who you got here, Josh?
I'm going to Britt Baker. I think it's going to be a decent match, but she's not losing. She's not losing anytime soon.
And StatKing?
DMD.
Top guy, JJ?
Yeah, I think this match is going to be a lot better than what people anticipate, but Britt ain't losing in this match. She ain't not now. Not now. Hell no.
Yeah, if God's favorite champion wasn't a no-brainer, this one definitely is. Nate?
Yeah, man. Look. I love aliens, man. Alf, E.T., Andre 3000 and Big Boy. Shout out to the 25th anniversary of AT Aliens. I love me some extraterrestrials.
You ain't added Kanye to that list yet?
No. So I love extraterrestrials, man, but this ain't it, man. Like Outkast had a track called Elevators, and elevators go up and they go down, SP3. And unfortunately, in this match, Kris Statlander, she going down for that 1, 2, 3, man. Like I think it's going to be a really strong match. Probably a better match than some people are expecting, but there's no way you would take the title off of Britt right now. She's way too hot.
This is the second time. This is the second time we're going to see Kris Statlander lose in Chicago. She was the challenger for Nyla Rose at Revolution last year.
Yep.
Yeah, no one remembers that one.
Yeah, I'm about to say who's going to be mad.
I knew because I was there. That's like the only reason why I remember.
But who's going to be mad about that? No one.
You remember the worst match on the card. Congratulations. No offense to them, but that was. I don't think this will be. I think this is going to be a very good matchup. But I totally agree. DMD, Dr. Britt Baker needs to retain here. She's got money matchups, down the line, like we talked about earlier, with the winner of the Casino Battle Royale, with Thunder Rosa, with Jade Cargill. So we need Britt Baker to hold on to the title. So I think she's going to win here. We got Frantic World agreeing with the panel here, saying DMD gets the win. You, my boy Blue, says Britt Baker isn't losing till Thunder Rosa takes the belt off her. We got Connor Smith saying that would make Cole the Andy Kaufman of AEW. We actually got Hector Cruz saying, what are the odds of an Adam Cole run-in? I don't think Cole is debuting in Chicago, no matter how much StatKing wishes for it.
And Adam Cole ain't doing no running. Like that ain't what y'all think he is? Like y'all think he's some mid-tier jobber or something? He ain't coming in no fucking running. But props of where the women's division has gone in a year from AEW. Like that shit has gone leaps and bounds basically to what has been since last year.
Yeah, last year was a great match as well.
Fuck, bro. What the fuck?
No, he don't miss.
Romeo don't miss.
It was out of nowhere, bro.
Romeo don't miss. Oh man. Yes.
Unanimous, 100% for Baker.
Keep bringing those predictions in and vote on the poll. Of course, Super Chat, make sure we highlight your comment as well. We appreciate those donations. Next up, we're going to switch from the title matches to go to a grudge match with a lot at stake as Chris Jericho's career is on the line in the final fight between Chris Jericho and MJF. It was last year after All Out that this whole story between Jericho and MJF started after they both lost at that pay-per-view. They aligned with each other. We had Dinner Debonair. We had MJF then defeat Chris Jericho at Full Gear to get into the Inner Circle. That didn't last long as a lot of the Inner Circle saw what MJF was trying to do, but instead he formed the Pinnacle on the backs of the Inner Circle. They defeated the Inner Circle at Blood and Guts on May 5th, and then we had the Labors of Jericho from there after the Inner Circle defeated the Pinnacle at Double or Nothing in Stadium Stampede 2. We had the Labors of Jericho, which led up to their next matchup. Jericho defeated Nick Gage, Sean Spears, Wardlow, and Juventud Guerrera to lose to MJF by submission with the Salt of the Earth, making Chris Jericho tap out for the first time. So MJF is 3-0 against Chris Jericho. So Jericho had to put his career on the line to get one more match with Maxwell Jacob Freeman. So who wins here here? Is it Jericho's career ending in Chicago, kind of like how his main career started in the WWE in Chicago, Illinois? Does it end here? StatKing, you'll be there live. Who do you think wins?
This is probably to me one of the toughest matches to predict because Kris has 3 losses to MJF, so he could theoretically get a win and continue onwards. At the same time, Max, like momentum-wise, should be the person who wins and sends Jericho to the commentary table so that he can, yell a lot and annoy Romeo that way. At the same time, I keep thinking back to every time Triple H has recently had to put his career on the line. And it's like, oh, God, are we supposed to believe that Triple H is really going to lose his career to Brock Lesnar, then Batista? Like, all these different – like, it was just a little ridiculous. But I'm going to go with MJF winning this match and sealing the deal for Jericho. I think that Jericho maybe finds a way around the stipulation somehow, some way. But a part of me just feels as though this is the moment to really pull the trigger on Max getting that real, you got 3 wins against Jericho, but if you are the man who retires Jericho, that's something else completely different.
Top guy JJ, who you got, MJF or Jericho?
This is the fan in me. There ain't no way in hell I'm picking Chris Jericho to lose this match. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not, because the thing about AEW is that they have been very true to what their stipulations have been.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't see Jericho getting around this if he loses this match. His career in AEW and wrestling is over if he loses this match.
That's why it's so difficult.
I cannot see a loophole. AEW doesn't do loopholes with their stipulations. So I love that about their stipulations because they're tried and true. So the fact that this is on the line in that manner, I'm too much of a Jericho fan to see him lose his career in this match. I'm sorry. I'm not picking against Jericho here. I'm going Jericho.
You refuse. Josh, who you got?
Going with Jericho.
Seems simple to me. I'll do my prediction here. I think Chris Jericho's winning. Even when MJF made Chris Jericho tap out, I was like, this is not the end of the story. This put over MJF a lot more, being 3-0 against Jericho, and he was able to pull out the shirt in an ode to Jericho with his 3-0 shirt against Goldberg. He had the 3-0 MJF over Jericho a couple of weeks back, but already he's done a lot for MJF in solidifying him as the top heel in the company, that he can lose here and he doesn't lose anything at all. And all AEW feuds for the most part ends with the babyface getting the win in the end. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Nate, who you got, Jericho or MJF?
This was a tough match for me to call, fellas. And I know we all came up watching that man Y2J. Watching that man do his thing. And so I feel kind of like I'm betraying the brother. I feel kind of like SP3, like I'm Judas in my mind with this selection because I'm going with that man, MJF. Like, to me, the way Jericho set up that promo, on Dynamite, it tells me, like, this could be a wrap. This could be the end. And, like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to end Chris Jericho's career for the foreseeable future, because I do think they are very strict with their stipulations, but come on, we know this is wrestling. A year from now they could find a way to MacGyver something.
See, too much WWE watching, man. We gotta believe this shit for once, man.
I think that if you're gonna do it, this is the time to do it, because you can make a dude in one night. This makes MJF, he's already on one level, but this puts him up on that upper level. He goes to the upper room. If you give MJF the win right here, and I think if you do that, that sets up Punk's next challenger.
I don't think they're going there yet.
That's where I would go.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think they're going there yet. I think the Punk in MJF needs to be for the AEW World Title when they eventually do get there. But I don't think this is a foregone conclusion at all. I think you guys that are picking MJF make great points. So who you got, Romeo?
This has been booked horribly. Horribly. That fifth labor of Jericho. That should be the match here at All Out. That should be the match where MJF wins. But no, the final fight, Jericho puts his career on the line, and he's going to win. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? MJF should be the final winner of this feud. But no, Jericho is going to be. And that sucks. They booked this horribly. I'm going with Jericho to win. And I don't agree with you, SB3. This brings MJF down a notch for me if he loses the last match of Jericho. I hate that.
He's still
Like,
3-0, and we don't know how he's gonna win. Like the Moxley loss. You were on that review, and you said that hurt MJF, and it didn't. It didn't at all. He was still the same. And he was able to kind of talk his way out of that one because Moxley used the paradigm shift. We don't know how Jericho is going to get the win, but if Jericho cheats, that's just more of a reason.
I don't even want to see this match again. I'm done with these two. I'm done.
And
they should have ended at the fifth labor. Should have ended there. Jericho should have said, "Okay, you won.
I won't deny I haven't enjoyed the booking too much. This should have been the fifth labor here at All Out, or he should have beat 5 guys to get this match at All Out. But to each his own. I think that Jericho gets the win to end the feud. We got another super chat.
69% of you, very naughty, pick
Nice.
Chris Jericho.
Perfect number. We got another super chat from Kris, aka Easy Attack, saying I am totally cool with MAGA Jericho winning. MJF is already a made dude. MJF has already beat dude like 500 times. It's okay if he wins. Exactly.
when it comes to outcomes, totally agree. Like MJF has one singles loss in his AEW career. One. Like this does not hurt him at all.
MJF should win the last match in this feud.
That's why it's called the final match. This is the blow off. They're done after this.
Exactly.
And
if
MJF
he beats him,
win it.
But why?
No.
Why?
Because he's the one you're building up to the future.
He's already built up.
You're acting like Tommy Dreamer getting one win over 500 losses to Raven. Put over Tommy Dreamer more than Raven. Raven was the guy that won the ECW title multiple times.
This is
MJF would be losing to Chris fucking Jericho. He would be losing to Chris Jericho. He would be losing to the first ever AEW champion. This is not a bad loss if he loses. This is not a bad loss if he loses.
WWE booking.
Yeah, here's the other thing though. Like I get the idea of wanting Jericho to have his big moment in Chicago, but let me tell you something, SP3. Like joy is a very powerful emotion, so is sadness. You telling me if he loses and they let that breathe in that arena, you telling me that's not going to be a very emotional, memorable moment? Come on now.
Oh,
That's
surely.
good TV.
Yeah, it's a coin flip match. It's a coin flip match. I'm picking this match purely off of fandom.
Let's not forget that part of the reason why MJF pivoted and targeted the Inner Circle and started this whole storyline was coming out of that one loss against Moxley, and he didn't know what to do. He was kind of spinning his wheels. So if he now has built up this feud that basically has gone on for a year, and he in essence sort of loses the feud. It's the same thing that happened out of Moxley. Who does he target next? What is he? It's just him spinning his wheels. And that's why, to me, it doesn't seem as though it feels as though it would actually hurt him, because every time he has fully gone on and targeted somebody that is a main event level player, he will have ended up losing.
No, he beat Jericho 3 times. You're not.
Four times if you fucking count blood and guts.
But it doesn't matter if he's beat him 3 times to lose once.
People only remember the final.
Yeah, it's the final loss.
No, you remember that he tapped him out. That's what I remember the most. We got Connor Smith saying post match Tully attacks Jericho, and we get the 5 senior citizen labors of Jericho.
If this match loss hurts MJF so much, he ain't that good. And clearly, we all think opposite of that. We think he's great. So if he takes one loss, this is not going to hurt him.
It's not taking the one loss. It's the overall repetition of the same thing happening over and over again. He keeps
blame AEW for that.
No, it's not. It's not repetition. It's not repetition at all, because Moxley and him was one match. This is not 4 matches where he wins 75% of them.
I agree
That's
with
totally
StatKing.
different.
I agree with
totally
StatKing.
different.
We stand together.
See, you know you're wrong, StatKing, because he
That's
agrees with you.
actually what's convincing me that I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're on an island. You're on an island now with Romeo. Good luck with that.
You're definitely wrong with that.
I got the Knicks and
That's
Lakers.
definitely wrong.
Hector says, as much as it pains me to say, I can't see Jericho losing here. They'll find a way for him to come back. We also got Frantic World saying Chris Jericho is going to win. I don't see him losing. So a lot of conflicting thoughts in the live chat here.
This is a toss-up, man. This is a toss-up, man. A lot of it is because of a fan or we are of the guy. I mean, it's that simple, man.
And you also forgot that one. He did beat a top star and then never versed him again. In Cody, he beat Cody at Revolution 2020. You were there live for that, StatKing, and he moved on. He didn't. It's not repetition.
Again, I really only remember Nyla Rose versus Kris Statlander.
Oh my God,
That's nice. That's on you. That's on you.
Can I read this comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bills Mafia. The sky is falling if someone loses is a WWE fan nonsense criticism. Romeo, come on now. You know what? I don't listen to Bills fans. J-E-T-S, Jets.
Ooh.
Well, we got one more correspondent coming in. He's going to be one of our on-location correspondents. You can expect the drunk reviews coming from this gentleman for All Out.
Yes.
I gotta warn my
Drunk
neighbors.
guy JJ is here from work, live from work.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. My neighbors.
As if I'm not already pushing it here.
Don't worry, he's gonna quit today.
Well, I know you don't have too much time, sir, but let us know what's the match you're looking forward to the most.
It's kind of a toss-up. I want to see Punk and Darby because it's Punk's first match back, but that cage match would be crazy. I came in at the right time because I saw you guys going back and forth about that Jericho and MJF stuff. That was hilarious.
Give your thoughts on that.
I don't know. I don't see Jericho losing. Then again, the way JR looked like he's about to cry when he was talking about Jericho yesterday.
That was good shit.
I guess that kind of played in. Yeah, I played into that. So I don't see Jericho losing. If he does, he does. But MJF losing to Jericho tomorrow does not hurt. I don't think it does.
I see. We got drunk guy when he's sober. See, he's making sense here.
Let's check back later.
Give him 5 minutes. Yeah, give him 5 minutes.
So our next match for us to preview, we're gonna get into the bigger matchups on this card. First up, for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, inside of a steel cage, it's going to be the Young Bucks defending against the Lucha Bros. 2 years ago, they put on one of the greatest matches in All Elite Wrestling history, the Escalera de la Muerte ladder match, where the Lucha Bros defeated the Young Bucks to win the AAA World Tag Team titles. They have not touched in a tag team match since then. We've seen different combinations, though, with the Young Bucks in a Match of the Year candidate against Phoenix and Pac back in April when they first turned heel and defeated those two gentlemen. We've seen Penta and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks. They beat them. They were the first team to beat them in a non-title tag team match in over a year, and then they lost in a street fight back at Road Rager. But the Lucha Bros got this opportunity by beating the Varsity Blondes and then Jurassic Express in the World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament to get this match here inside of the steel cage to avoid the Young Bucks from having the Elite help them defend the titles again. So who wins this one? Drunk guy JJ, I know we don't have you for too much long here, so give us who you think's gonna win, Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks.
He got me for 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I have Lucha Bros winning now based off how this ended. There's no way I don't see Omega and Bucks both retaining on Sunday. One of them are losing, and it's leaning more toward the Bucks losing than Omega, that's for sure.
Brother Nate, who do you got in this one? The two best tag teams in the world, Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks?
To quote an American proverb, SP3, "Nuck if you buck."
This guy.
Going with them boys. Going with them Young Bucks, man, because here's the thing. Like, this match could go either way. Like, I think part of the genius of this match is we've seen these dudes do some crazy things, and their matches usually take place all around the ring. Like, they doing everything. Like, they all over the track. But this one, we putting it in the cage. So I'm intrigued to see what kind of match they can create inside these confines. It wouldn't shock me if it wouldn't shock me if the Lucha Brothers won. Like, I would love to see. I take that back. Like, I would be intrigued to see. I don't know if I would love it to see if Ray Phoenix did a tribute to that man Elix Skipper and did a cage walk for us.
It is absolutely coming. You know
like, I think that would be dope. But here's the thing. Like, I think, we've talked a lot about that Arthur Ashe show. And I think one of the biggest matches you could book for that Arthur Ashe show is Santana and Ortiz versus the Young Bucks. And I think that's where you get the Bucks dropping the belt. So I think this will be a great match, but my gut tells me to go with the champs on this one.
So you got here, Josh, the Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks?
I'm going with the Young Bucks only because I think this prolongs the storyline between Andrade and the Lucha Bros for them to join Andrade.
Yeah, that's another great point.
So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks based off of that.
Top guy JJ.
I just had to look. The Young Bucks are approaching a full year as tag team champions. Like, I think if they don't, there's two options, and I think the Arthur Ashe point with Santana and Ortiz is pretty much spot the fuck on. But if they don't pull that here, this has to be the team that they drop these titles to. The AEW tag division is fucking stacked as it is. It is stacked. Any idiot that says that they don't have the most stacked division in all of pro wrestling, you're clearly not watching the brand. But the Young Bucks have been running through this division for the past 10 months. Easy. And I think this is the time at All Out, as like Drunk Guy said, I don't see, after the way Dynamite ended, the entire elite is retaining their titles. It just doesn't, to me, work that way. So I do see the Lucha Bros finally, 2 years later, becoming AEW Tag Team Champions for the first time.
StatKing, who you got?
Lucha Bros picking up the win. This is that Escalera del Monte match was simply incredible. I think that might be the best ladder match I've ever seen live. And this is going to be an incredible, incredible cage match. There's going to be somehow, some way Phoenix is jumping off the top of the cage, whether it's back into the ring, outside of the ring, whether he's taking somebody, and Nick's probably dumb enough to do this, like a Spanish fly off the top of the cage or something insane like that. But these guys, this is probably going to be match of the night for me, and this match is going to be really, really good. I think Lucha Bros continue their streak of being able to beat the Bucks at All Out, or start a streak because they've only beaten them once before. But I got the Lucha Bros winning this one.
Romeo?
I love both Nate's points and Josh's points about how this fits storyline wise with Andrade and Santana and Ortiz. So, no, if you buck. No, if you buck. The Young Bucks. And in the chat, 66% of you.
You're fast,
the Young
Romeo.
Bucks.
I know you didn't have that.
That's
I know
what
you
she
didn't
said.
have that in advance.
That's what she said.
I would be solely down with what Nate said, and I kind of was predicting that Arthur Ashe Stadium would be the setting for Proud and Powerful to get their opportunity at the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. But because of how the FTR feud has gone and they're 1-1, I can see them having their blow off in a New York City street fight in Arthur Ashe Stadium to give Santana and Ortiz the big win there and prolong them winning the World Tag Team titles. So I am going for the only title change I'm predicting on this card. Spoiler alert. The Lucha Bros to win the AEW World Tag Team titles. They're a team that I thought from the very beginning should have been AEW World Tag Team champions. More than SCU, I felt like they should have been the first AEW World Tag Team champions. They've come close against Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Now they got this opportunity here, so I think this is the time to pull the trigger on the Lucha Bros.
Damn. That's another good point, that it is 1-1. They'll probably have to blow off at Arthur Ashe. I changed my mind. I changed my pick. Lucha Bros and Josh, Andrade can say, oh, you guys won without Pac in the building. How convenient.
Exactly. I was in the building. Pac wasn't.
Yeah. Maybe he comes out there. You can still help on the outside of the steel cage.
Or claps for them at the end of the
Claps,
match.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got the two top matches. First up, we're going to the AEW World Championship matchup. Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, the belt collector, versus the Impact World Champion, Christian Cage. It was a couple weeks back on the first ever Rampage. Christian beat Kenny Omega to win the Impact World Championship, proving that he can beat Kenny Omega, his first loss in over 2 years in AEW in singles competition. Christian is undefeated in singles competition, so this one will be a battle of streaks. Does the belt collector end his reign in AEW, or does Christian's undefeated streak end here? Who do you got, Romeo?
This would be absolutely ridiculous if Christian won this. Kenny Omega better win this. I better not see the champ Christian Cage double champ. Are you kidding me? No.
Imagine Marcus Cash's reaction.
He would be
CC can stand for champ instead of Christian Cage. CC.
There you go. Champ.
There you go.
The shirts make themselves.
Fire t-shirt right there.
Josh, who you got?
I got Kenny. Kenny's gonna win.
And Drunk Guy?
Oh, of course, Kenny Omega. I mean, he's not losing both belts to Christian Cage. Let's be serious now.
Top Guy JJ?
Major props to Christian Cage for his run so far. Like, he has been nothing short of fucking phenomenal since he's been back. I'll give him that much.
What the fuck?
But he's he's been gone for how long? Over 7 years, and
he's no Edge.
He's right. We're talking about Christian Cage. We're not talking about fucking Edge. Like,
Edge hasn't won shit. To be fair.
Again, props to Christian Cage for his run thus far at AEW.
Does he sound like a
But this ain't his night. This ain't his night. Kenny Omega is definitely retaining his belt. Props to the Impact champion, though, but not on Sunday.
Sunday ain't the time. StatKing?
While I am a big Christian Cage fan, I'm going with Kenny Omega on this one. There's no way in hell that Christian Cage is winning this match. It's also despite the fact that Christian was somebody who is the person who gave Kenny that first loss in 2 years. It doesn't feel as though it's been that well booked of a feud. So it's just like, okay, all right, Kenny wins. Let's keep this going. Hangman, when do you need, how many diapers do you need to change before you're happy, like you spent time with your kid? Like let's go.
I agree there. I'm going with Kenny Omega to get the victory. I'm a big Christian fan, but I just don't see it. This is Hangman Page's spot. It couldn't happen here. It will happen down the road, but Kenny has to keep the title. Nate, who you got?
I mean, it's Kung Fu Kenny all the way. Like shout out to Christian. Shout out to Christian Cage.
Now he's got to make a Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, that was certainly intentional. So here's the thing. Like, I think Christian Cage, the only misstep they've made with this dude was Uncle Tony, like hyping him up a little bit too much on that debut. But other than that, like, the dude has been really good, man. And I think I wasn't too enthusiastic for this match when it was first announced, but then they went and did the match on Rampage. And I was like, oh, they got a little something here. And that match came across way better than I expected, and I think they'll take it up a notch here, just with a different outcome, because there's no way you take the belt off of Omega here. That's not the story. Like, yeah, Hangman Page is not here because he's being a good father, but you don't take that man's spot. Like, you hold that man's spot. That's the story we've been telling. That's the story we've been building to, well, almost a year, maybe longer than a year, and that's in game. So this will be a good match. It'll be what it needs to be. It's not the main event because we know what the main event is, but Omega retains here.
And I think AEW knows who the main event is by how they promoted this matchup that we're going to end off with. But we do have a little bit of a somber note here. Just in the live chat, just announced Shimmer just announced that Daphne has passed away. I don't know if anybody saw the video yesterday. She had a very disturbing video that talked about her, losing her life, and police and her family went to her home in Georgia, but unfortunately, Daphne has passed away. You know, want to send our condolences, everyone here at True Hill Heat, to her family, to her friends, and you know that's definitely a sad case. We'll talk about it more for sure on True Hill Heat 141 on Saturday, but we had to, you know, show that comment. Thank you, Connor, for sharing that with us.
Guys, if you're ever struggling with something, talk to somebody. You know,
Absolutely.
just want to say that.
Yes, we're here. You know, a lot of us have social medias. We always share it at the end. If you need someone to talk to, sometimes, you know, it could be the people you watch on YouTube, and, you know, we'll be that helping hand to kind of talk you through anything. If you don't have anyone in your life, like or, you know, friends or family that you can't speak to, we feel like we're a community here, so you can always reach out, and, you know, a lot of us will be willing to talk to you. So if you're ever dealing with something, please talk to somebody about it for sure. But
that's incredibly sad, man. Like, I think, you know, and I said it last night on Twitter, man. Like, you know, to quote Marshawn Lynch, like, take care of your chickens and your mentals. Like, I feel like a lot of people focus on that first part, like they focus on their job, they focus on their career, they focus on getting that money, but they don't take the time to take care of themselves, man. Like, whoever you are, like, you're watching this, like you matter. Even if you think you don't matter. You matter, man. And if you're going through something, talk to somebody. Like, even if, like, I know, especially with dudes, man, it can be difficult to talk to somebody, but that's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength and a sign that you're taking care of yourself. So prayers up for, you know, Daphne's family and all the people that work with her, man, and had a relationship with her. She's going to be missed, man.
For sure.
Very well said.
Very well said.
So God, JJ has to go. So you guys be good.
Tell them where they can find you, drunk guy, before you go.
In a bar.
Instagram, _J_Duggan. Drunken Master JJ on Twitter. Facebook, my name is my name. If you don't know my name, don't try to add me. You know where to follow the gang. I don't have time to tell everybody where we're at, but you know we're everywhere. As for my prediction for this match we're going to go to, CM Punk.
We will see you for the drunk review on Monday, my good brother. We will see your review then, and have a good time at All Out, sir.
Thank you. All right, guys.
All right, later brother. But yes,
tomorrow.
the final match, the main event, it will be the return, the in-ring return for the first time in 7 years, his AEW in-ring debut. CM Punk will go one-on-one with the former TNT champion, Darby Allin. This one has been building up ever since CM Punk returned to professional wrestling back at AEW Rampage, the First Dance in Chicago, Illinois. He challenged Darby Allin, saying that he was the first on his list of competitors that he wanted to be in the ring with. He said that if he was 15 years old, Darby Allin would be his favorite wrestler. And Darby Allin responded that said when he was 15 years old, CM Punk was his favorite wrestler. So this is a lot of mirroring of each other in a lot of different ways. Both men are straight edge. Both men are alternative, like focal points in the professional wrestling world, enigmatic figures. So who wins this one? A dream match, CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Let's start with top guy JJ.
This match is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm just gonna lead off with that. This match is gonna be fucking great. I'm really excited to see what Punk does. And obviously, you've seen he's been training a lot of training with Malachi Black, Tommy N. So I think he's gonna be very ready for this match. I mean, if you're going to pick anybody else other than Punk, you clearly haven't been watching wrestling in the past more than half a decade. Punk is definitely winning this match. Darby Allin will not be hurt by this loss at all. This will be a phenomenal match. I mean, but come on. Who are we kidding here? No,
JJ, one loss ruins your entire career. Didn't you learn that from MJF and Jericho? Apparently, it ruins your entire career.
Darby Allin is about to be relegated to dark after this loss.
Man.
This isn't
too bad. Josh, who you got? Darby Allin or CM Punk?
I'm going with CM Punk. There's no way he loses his debut match.
And Hector Cruz saying the same thing. Punk can't lose his first match back, right? Nate, who do you think wins, Punk or Darby?
I mean, obviously Punk, but this is going to be a hell of a match, man. Like, this is going to be like, this is the rare time where I'm cool with your title match not going last, because there's no way it could go last. in Chicago. Punk's first match in 7 years. Like the atmosphere is gonna be electric. Soon as Cult of Personality hits, people gonna be going crazy. Soon as Darby comes out with the right Reverend Sting, people gonna go crazy. Like the moment where Sting daps up Darby and walks to the back, that's gonna get a pop. I think the match is gonna be fantastic. Like Darby Allin wrestles with the confidence of somebody who hasn't turned 30 yet. Because this man don't give a damn about his body, about his personal well-being, his physical fitness. He just throws himself around with reckless abandon. And you know Punk is going to be out there trying to keep up with him. So I think it's going to be a really great match, a really great moment for this company, and a great way to close out the show.
Indeed. StatKing, who you got?
Do you even need to ask me this?
You were there live for the first dance, so I shouldn't.
No, I'm going with CM Punk to win this match. The only thing I will say is that on Dynamite last night, when I forget which one of 2.0 he hit the GTS on.
Jeff Parker.
Yeah. After that, he was breathing a little heavily. And it's got me a little concerned overall for his cardio, because you got to have cardio if you're going to be in the ring.
Because he had those tight pants on.
To be fair,
I wasn't really looking at his pants, Romeo, but I mean, maybe you were. That's, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge it based on.
I don't know. Did we lose it? Oh, you cut it. You kicked him out. You're so mean. You're so mean.
That wasn't me. I'm back. There you go.
Wow.
Stop. Will you stop?
Not doing nothing. My hands.
Oh, gee, thanks, Romeo. I appreciate that.
Romeo, who do you have?
I don't know. I was gonna judge it based off of yesterday. Oh, this is how he's gonna look in the ring.
No. That was because we haven't seen him do anything. So the first time we saw him hit a GTS or anything like that, he was breathing a little heavily. So I was just like, I'm hoping that he.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just really good at selling. Maybe.
He just sold an ass whooping.
That's all part of the.
He got jumped by 3 guys. What the fuck?
Yeah, he just sold an ass whooping. Like what was? I mean,
I'm still
picking the guy to win.
Three guys.
Serious?
Maybe like 2.5, maybe.
He got whooped by 2.5 men. Charlie Sheen was out there with him.
No, that was QT Marshall. They wear the same shirts.
A lot better than 2.5 bros. That's all I'll say.
Oh man, Romeo, who you got?
If this were anywhere but Chicago, I would book Darby to go over and just sort of like build a storyline like, oh, Punk, not sure if he still has it. Maybe time has passed him by. But this is Chicago, where Punk has won 10 matches in a row. It might build a little resentment to Darby if Darby were to win a little bit. You don't want to do that.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
Darby.
Don't do that.
Darby can still be respected if he puts on a good performance, which I expect him to. So I'll
exactly
go Punk.
And it's unanimous. CM Punk to get the victory here. I don't see anything happening. Other than that, he's gonna win with the GTS. But I just want my one prediction for this match is that he will hit the Pepsi plunge. It's been over 15 years since I've seen the top rope pedigree from CM Punk.
He's gonna fucking die.
He couldn't use it in WWE. He's gonna do it here. It's gonna be beautiful.
SP3 wants to see Punk die in his first match.
I want to see Darby die. Darby is the only person who can take this.
I was like, Darby is down for that, man. Darby is down for whatever.
Darby's the one who came to Punk and said, "We're doing the Pepsi plunge."
Right? We're doing the Pepsi plunge, right? That's all he needs. And one final prediction before we close things off around the board, real quick. Starting with Nate.
80% Punk.
Wait, what?
Love it.
20%.
20% pick. Okay.
Where?
Okay.
Because we're gonna go in assuming that we're gonna see Bryan Danielson on this card. Nate, Josh, Top Guy, JJ, Romeo, StatKing. Where does Bryan Danielson debut for AEW? Starting with Nate.
Oh, that's a good question. Obviously, if you're thinking about like what's a money match, I would have him debut after QT Marshall beats Big Show.
My man.
Daniel Bryan
set up a
versus
7-star
QT.
classic.
Arthur Ashe Stadium. Come on now.
Set up a 7-star classic. Hell yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for that heat.
Ain't ready for it.
I guess though, like to me, there's two places you could put it. You could either end the show with Daniel Bryan coming out after Punk and Darby, or if you like, because I think there's going to be a point in this card, as good as it is, you're going to hit a lull, and maybe it's after the Britt match. Like, I don't know where the lull would be, but maybe after the Britt match, but before the tag match, you bring Daniel Bryan out, and that gets the crowd hyped for the second half of the show.
I like it. That's a good idea, Josh.
Yeah, I think you have them come out, I guess, like one of the low points of the show. You bring them out, get the crowd going again. The only thing that's going to be hard to predict is because I don't know how their card placement is. Usually, sometimes they're all over the place. Sometimes with their card placement, so I'm not too sure where that low is going to be.
That's the tricky part there. Top guy JJ.
It's a hell of a card, man. I'm not sure. I mean, unless Bryan Danielson is coming out right after the Marshall and White match. But I see the show closing out with yes chants. It's perfect synergy. Like, you don't wait for something like this. You don't wait for the magic. You don't wait for this. Like, you don't know how long these guys are going to be back. You don't build this up. You don't need build up. As long as you see them two in the same presence, you know what's popping. You know what's coming next. Like, don't wait for it. Don't hold off. Just pull the trigger right after that match.
StatKing.
I like JJ's idea. I do like it a lot. I'm gonna go with that one. I like that a lot too much, because that was one of the matches. That was one of the dream matches that we really didn't get to see in WWE. We had that over.
We got it like at three different pay-per-views.
You got the over the limit match. That was really the only
over the limit and Money in the Bank.
But they weren't. But they weren't the. I feel like the storyline could have been a lot better. Is what I'm saying. Like, what exactly was happening within the feud. So I just feel like they're going to be able to give us something really good if they have Bryan come out at the end and beat somebody that they just have that stare down. And whether it's at Arthur Ashe, whether it's at Revolution, Full Gear, Revolution, we just know it's on the way. And I think that'll be a magic moment.
Romeo?
I think after Punk and Darby ends, they'll shake hands, give each other mad respect. Then you'll see like a repeat of what we see in 2.0, Garcia, and probably a whole laundry list of heels come out and just beat them both up. The crowd will start chanting, Bryan, or Dragon. And then he'll come out and they'll clean house and stand tall, all the baby faces at the end.
I don't think you take away the shine from CM Punk with his comeback match by having Bryan Danielson come in to have a match that we saw in WWE. I just don't see it. It's the same thing people tried to tell me. Oh, Punk's going to come back and verse Jon Moxley. We've seen that in WWE. He's not going to come back for that. He's going to come back to verse somebody new. And I think the perfect thing is Kenny Omega gets the victory after that heel moment in Chicago on Wednesday. He gets this victory over Christian Cage. He says no one is left. And, people going to cheer maybe Hangman, maybe people going to cheer maybe Dragon. And then you hear the do-do-do-do. And final countdown hits, and he approaches Kenny Omega. They have that match at Arthur Ashe Stadium inside that big building. And Bryan is the type of guy, he can come in and lose his first match and he won't lose anything. And Omega can win at Arthur Ashe and set up him and Hangman at Full Gear probably. Hangman returns at Arthur Ashe probably. So that is my prediction. That is our prediction for AEW All Out. Nate, we want to thank you so much for joining us, good brother, being on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel for the first time. Thank you so much. Please tell the people where they can find you on social media and everything you're doing, good brother.
I appreciate y'all for having me. This was great. First time kicking down this forsaken door into the world of the True Heel Heat. Y'all can check me out at a myriad of places, man. First and foremost, Kings of Sport, which Sid has been on before. That is a show that I've been doing since 2013. Again, myself and Marcus Vanderberg, who's now with ESPN. We talk sports, politics, pop culture, a little pro wrestling from time to time. Check that out. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/the Kings of Sport. $5 gets you in the door, just like there are 5 types of stereotypes that you're allowed to play in the WWE. There are $5 that will get you into the Kings of Sport Patreon. There you go, 5. You got 5 on it. Patreon.com/The Kings of Sport is where you can go for that. Post Wrestling, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, where we talk about all things black and all things pro wrestling. Myself, the Professor, Kris from LA, along with Andrew Thompson, brother y'all are familiar with. Andrew Thompson is our newsman on that show at Post Wrestling. We drop a new episode every second Sunday of the month. So our current episode up talks about our reactions to what went down with Bianca Belair at SummerSlam.
Oh boy!
So y'all can hear our reactions about that. That's available at Post Wrestling. And for everything else, just check me out on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic. Again, man, appreciate y'all for having me on. Because one of the reasons Sid, I took my inspiration from Tony Khan. I see a lot of myself in Uncle Tony. You know, only difference is our bank accounts a little bit dissimilar.
Just a little bit.
But I like the way he's collaborating with all these people. And I was like, you know what? I need to start collaborating more with cats like yourself and cats like Rich Fan. And so like we building something right now. So we don't know what it's gonna be yet, but we building it.
The synergy is already there, brother Nate. This won't be the last time you're on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. That's for damn sure. Oh, you were fantastic here. And as always, the True Jaw Josh joining us. Thank you, good brother. Let them know where they can find you, sir.
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at GMPunk321.
As always, enjoy the art that Josh does. A whole bunch of great pieces. We'll keep you updated on the conventions. It's not the last time you'll see Josh over the weekend. He'll be joining us on a couple of different things over the weekend for All Out weekend. And Top Guy JJ, where can they find you?
Instagram, you can find me at TrueHill_TopGuyJJ. And on the YouTube channel here, you can find me on every Saturday with SP3 and Miss Chrissy Love on True Hill Heat. And on some roundtables and on some shows like such, yeah. So it's kind of random, but every Saturday for sure.
And we got a super chat, a late one coming in from Slammin' Sammy Joe. I want to see Jamie Hayter destroy Yuka Sakazaki. That was random, but I love it. I like it. I like it. StatKing, where can they find you, sir?
You guys can catch me every week here on the True Heel Heat channel, covering AEW Dark Elevation and NWA Power on Dark Power. You can also catch me with my co-host, the three-time baby-making champ Ness, on Fusion of Honor, where we cover MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor.
And Romeo, the ace in the face of the channel. Tell them where they can find you.
You can follow me, True Heel Romeo, on Twitter and Instagram, right here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Hold on, let me get it. Rated Raw Superstars live after Raw every Monday. You don't have to watch Raw. Just watch me and Drunk Guy JJ cover it in less than an hour. We're much better. We're much better, more entertaining. And also NX3. Give them a chance. This is the last episode that dropped. Me, Chris G, and Ness, we cover NXT live after NXT every week. The show that nobody likes anymore. I don't want to play the new NXT.
R.I.P. NXT.
True Rewind. Me, SP3. Drunk Guy JJ, we go back in time. This was our latest episode. What's up now? Dancing with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight. See what Goldust did to Undertaker. You don't want to miss it. And yeah, we'll go over the other stuff later on. But definitely Friday Night Warriors. Check it out this week. We're going to watch SmackDown and Rampage together.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I have a meme that I forgot to share. Here it is. Kung Fu Kenny.
There it is. I was waiting.
Yo.
I was waiting on that one.
Never fails. Never fails.
What
and
the fuck?
You can find me on Twitter, True Heel SP3. Of course, subscribe to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. A whole bunch of great content coming up this week. You got later on tonight our live review of Impact Wrestling. You got tomorrow, we're going live with Jimmy Macaram, Marcus Cash, and myself, AE Ramble, reviewing AEW Dynamite's Go Home, heading into All Out. You got later on in the evening, Friday Night Warriors, like Romeo said. Saturday, True Hill Heat 141 with special guests Benno from Post Wrestling, as well as the Miss Dynamite, Lady Rampage, Stephanie Chase, and then
yes.
Later on, we're going to have Dark Power with the StatKing reviewing this week AEW Dark Elevation, and NWA Power. And then Sunday, our AEW All Out Watch Along, as well as True Rewind 54 reviewing Slamboree 1996. And then Monday, All Out Roundtable review. So like this video, comment down below if you're watching us on replay. Thank you everyone for joining us live. Thank you, Brother Nate, for joining us, our special guest. Thank you, Josh, Top Guy JJ, StatKing, Romeo. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our All Out 2021 preview. We are signing off until next time.